For more on China-UK relations, I spoke to Yu Jie, the head of China Foresight at LSE IDEAS. I began by asking about the next stage of trade ties.
Well, obviously, I think the two sides has been developed very well in the past few months. If you look at the record in December, the China-UK Economic Financial Dialogue, obviously the Treasury, Philip Hammond, have really indicated how much UK are willing to participating under the initiative, obviously. And secondly, because by allowing UK to join the Belt and Road Initiative is very much beneficial to the British economy, because don't forget, the British economy are very much service-oriented, and that's what exactly China wanted, to have that kind of like a financial and a governance expertise in terms of Belt and Road Initiative. So I think the two sides has been almost like a perfect match, like complementary towards each other.
And we've certainly heard a lot about the UK being a natural partner and also this golden era between China and the UK. So what do you think businesses from both countries are hoping to achieve with this trip?
Well, as we know, since Theresa May came to power, and she has only visited China now, I mean, obviously, apart from the G20 meeting she has. So it's a very much highly expected trip, and obviously you expect so much business deals need to be signed. Partially is because of this so-called golden era, and come to the second stage, after the President Xi's visit in 2015, and now we come to the second stage, the UK Prime Minister came to China, and then obviously a lot of businesses, and especially in the UK, was much looking for further opportunities beyond the Eurozone, beyond the European Trade Union.
And speaking of that, we know that the UK is seeking more cooperation, not just outside of the EU, possibly the US, as there's some uncertainty over policies going forward. So what opportunities and sectors do you think could offer the most opportunities for China and the UK?
Well, as I said earlier, I mean, because of the particular structure of the UK economy is very much service-oriented, and that is what actually the next step, a development stage, what Chinese economy want to look like. As what President Xi mentioned earlier last year by talking about how to transfer China into with more qualitative growth. So obviously, by having qualitative growth and obviously tertiary industry, service-oriented economy, and that is what China should give the priority in the next 5 or 10 years. And obviously, the UK are renowned in those sectors. So I think there's a lot of cooperation the two sides could explore together. And given the bigger climate, given the uncertainty of the Brexit negotiation, of course, the UK should looking for prosperity outside the European Union. So given the huge market of China, and I think UK have a good chance to become prosperous again in here.
Now, May is actually leading the largest business delegation her government has ever taken overseas with this visit to China. What do you think that tells us about the economic importance of these ties going forward?
Given the economic importance, obviously, I mean, the UK government do slightly different from the French government, because the French government is always the one who negotiates the projects and therefore followed by the company. Whereas in here, I think it's more to see a tendency of British company take the initiative and will join the Prime Minister in here. So I think it's almost like a bottom-up approach rather than a top-down approach. So that's very much different from the continental Europe.
Now, there's also been a lot of debate about London potentially losing that top spot as being one of the top financial hubs in the world after Brexit. How do you think that's going to perhaps impact the introduction of the potential London-Shanghai Stock Connect program?
I think it goes down very well. The two sides has been negotiated for quite some time. So I think has been in the past 6 months. The two sides has been negotiated quite intensely. And then, because what we should not forget is how many years London has enjoyed this being the center of international finance. And obviously, all the financial infrastructures, all the financial mechanisms are well in place. So obviously, that also provides already a very good foundation for Shanghai London Stock Exchange joined together.